Hey guys! Welcome back to Let's Play Xenosaga Episode 2. Last time, we began our trip into the factory and faced enemies that were kicking my ass. This time, we're going to fight enemies that are still kicking my ass, but hopefully not so much. Kinda hoping you wouldn't spawn a helper this time, but we can make do. Especially if everyone stalks to start things off and they don't hurt me. That would make things a little easier. Alright, so everybody's stocked up. You can set up Thunder Sword on yourself, and we can take these guys down. If you don't recall, I was going over these guys in the last episode, and they basically nearly annihilated my party. Because they do things like this. So it doesn't really matter how many times you come in these fights, you're pretty much in a lot of trouble pretty much every time. So if I could get to Momo's turn, that would allow this fight to pretty much get to a point where I can survive. Okay, perfect. And so Thunder Sword on you. And then Junior's going to start it off. Momo will finish it. And so your break zone is, if I was to the right page in my notes, C, B, B.
Eat this.
And of course, weak to Thunder.
Eat this.
And weak to Ether Attack. I don't know if it would have done enough, so I'm going to go Overkill. I need to make sure that you die quickly because you do way too much damage. Let's throw some more Medica on there. And pretty much once you get rid of one of them, you can usually keep up with their damage. Trying to keep up with both of them when they have Quick on them, not a good idea. Speaking of Quick, I wouldn't normally use this, and actually I'm not going to use this because she has better things to do. She can do more damage if I allow her. I will also Medical All since I happen to be on that slot. Everyone's pretty close to full. Going much better than the last time I tried to fight these guys. Much, much better. Speaking of which, CB, raise you up in the air. And Momo should be able to finish you. And there we go. Threat has been neutralized, except for the fact that he does decent damage as well. Yeah, wow, that was a lot of damage. Okay, somebody needs to wear off their statuses so I can get a different kind of Ether Sword on. You are weak to fire, if I'm not mistaken. You indeed are. So I am going to set up Flame Sword. Keep going all the way down in my inventory of spells when I should just go straight down. But oh well. You need to stock first. Then I should be able to finish these guys off. Ow! I did not expect this guy to do that much damage. That is crazy. You should also put Flame Sword on yourself. And then I am going to boost you. Now I believe this guy, yeah, Thunder's fine against him, but he does absorb ice damage and aura damage. So you got to be aware of that. Did I do enough? Aw, well, he's dead now anyway. Too bad about the skill points, but I'll live. That's because you do so much damage. Wow, doesn't matter how many times I do that fight, I seem to have problems with it. Less than last time, but that's fine. I'll waste Iggy's MP on, or EP on healing. Of course, he's almost out of EP now, but that's fine. Now, items. 1 item. 4 items? I believe this is the dead end over here. I am not 100% sure on this. Oh, item? No, just a dead end. Okay, that's fine. With that said, we take elevator, and basically, if you recall from last time, we were moving around trying to activate things to help us get through this area. We need to activate this to activate the stairs there. Now, I could go down and heal, but I think there's only one more encounter along the way, and I think I'm well suited to that. There may not even be one more encounter. It may just be straight over to the button. I can't recall. There you go. Press the button. Activate the elevator that we passed up in the last episode. It's now on. Now we can head down here, heal up. I will fight that guy off screen since I have to fight him to get by him, and I will see you in a moment. Okay, I finished up doing that. I did want to show the skill setup that I didn't go over in the last episode. Everyone has Swimsuit, Combo Boost, Overload, and First Combo. Except for, of course, Momo, who has Ether Burst instead of First Combo, and Xion, who is set up to basically just not run out of EP. EP half and EP regen. That will be beneficial to her since she tends to get two attacks per battle when she's using Erde Kaiser. The first one to cast an Ether Sword, the second one to use the spell. So that'll keep her a little more satiated in EP. Make it a little easier for you. You're still going to need to run into save points or use healing items if you are going to use that strategy throughout this entire area. But that'll work if you want to. I'm not going to use her too much around here, but in the next dungeon, I will use her quite a bit for that purpose. Fight you off screen. After taking care of that guy, we can continue forward here. I think there's a bunch of dead ends, maybe a box or two. There's one box and one item. I'll take it. Not that I need more biospheres at this point. I got like almost 30 of them, I think. I think this is almost always the dead end to the right. Yeah, I think there's a couple of times it's not, but every other time it is. Now, I do question this because I didn't fully test this out. There's a ladder and there's fast forward. Now, I don't know if you have to do this. Press this button, those all blow up. I'm not sure if you can blow those up normally or not later when you get there, but I know you can do this here. In fact, I skipped over this one because it looked like it was the right way, and then had to backtrack after going all the way down here. Speaking of which, off screen. As long as you're not fighting two or more of those big, strong, red, burly, strong-looking dudes. I know, my descriptions are great. That last one that I had a problem with at the start of the the end of the previous episode there. As long as you're not fighting more than one of those, you're probably pretty fine with them. They don't do as much damage if you're not just fighting a whole bunch of them. Speaking of them, that was the guy, of course, that I was referring to because my descriptions are so great, it didn't really sound like it. Anyway, there we go. So save point here, and as you can see, another ladder we need to activate. In order to do that, we need to go upstairs, then go over to the ladder there. But before that, a bunch of stuff to blow up. Unfortunately, not all containing items. Some of them are, though, I think. There we go. Why am I getting so many biospheres in here? It's not like, I guess they're technically a Mega Elixir, so I shouldn't complain. They're really, really good, but I don't know. I just don't find a whole lot of use for them. Am I going the wrong way? Yeah, I want to go this way first, I believe. Somebody down here. Okay, maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about. That is entirely possible. Yeah, I do have a map for this area, but I don't know, it just seems really confusing and I get very lost trying to navigate it. First things first, press the button. Do not, I repeat, do not, assuming this is the one I think it is, go down that. First, we want to go and fight you unless you have a new enemy. Oh, we do have a new enemy. I had a feeling you were in this fight. This is the final new enemy in the area. And the final, well, not the final new enemy in the game, but the final new enemy of this kind of set. I believe he's only encountered here, but I could be mistaken. He is 200% weak to beam, 250 to fire, 150 to pierce, and break zone of BB. Reduced damage from ice and absorbs thunder. Okay, there's two of them. And two of the other guys. Change Xion.
Leave the support to me.
Boost Xion. Now, let's see. So I can do... What can I do to hit all of you at the same time? I could do fire, but the other guy takes reduced damage from fire. I could do thunder, except for this guy absorbs thunder. So I'm going to use aura then, since you both take the same amount of damage from aura. It'll just, actually, you know what? I don't even have to do that. What I will do instead, since I can't find something that's good against both of them, is I will increase your ether power. And then I will just have you annihilate the rest of the fight. Since I'm doing so, I'll just... Okay, that's fine too. I will bring in my other characters that tend to be with that party.
I'll destroy you.
So that I keep my skill point totals all around where they should be.
Commencing battle.
But yeah. Once you start seeing 4 enemies in the battle, you really want to be making good use of Erde Kaiser, because it's pretty much the only way around taking huge amounts of damage and making battles last way too long. So Erde Kaiser Fury, be done with them. So I went over the basics of them. I think, as far as I remember, this is the only fight in this entire dungeon that has these enemies in them, unless they can randomly show up in other places. I'm not sure, but this is the only time that I ran into them in my test run through this area. So increase your ether power. Does enough damage to take out those two. I could have used Thunder Sword to take care of those guys, but now I have these two, the rest of my characters, to finish out. Notice how Xion went after casting such a powerful ether. That's because of the lost agility mastered skill that I learned for her in a couple episodes ago, or whenever I learned it. It was before this area. That's all I remember. Okay, so we'll put you there. BB, down you. I don't think you're particularly weak to fire, but you are weak to thunder, which Xion has the ability to deliver. She doesn't have Ether Burst, so her damage isn't going to be quite as high as it normally would. Let's just run you down here to very low amounts of HP, and I'll try and get the skill bonus. Okay, we'll stock with you. And you turn up on that turn anyway. That's perfect. Don't even have to boost you. Probably didn't have to unload all those attacks, but I like overkill. It's fun. Of course, I like overkill in Final Fantasy X too, but that wasn't what I was actually referring to at the time. I was just leaving a little hint for something later. Never mind, never mind. Okay. Now that we've done that, I believe, yes, Secret Key 30. This is the one I mentioned before. Again, a little too late, but at least it's better than the skill up one. More valuable anyway, because, you know, we're half our way to the level, but as far as skill points go, we're pretty damn close to the end. So, not particularly pointless. Again, I did a lot of grinding that is definitely not required. So that has... Where am I going? I know where I'm going. Honestly, I do. Okay, we want to head down here first. Now, I believe, if I remember correctly, yeah, so the boss is down there. I need to set up a few different things for the upcoming boss, and then we will take on said boss. Now, there's probably 2 ways of doing this. There's the long way, and then there's my way. I'm going to show you my way. There's probably strategy involved with this boss. I will go and look into that while I'm off screen changing my gear. But anyway, yeah, see you in a moment. Okay, we're back. Now, I'm actually going to redo this fight off screen after I just show you this strategy for doing it, because I want to do it with a party of probably Junior, Momo, and Jin there. Get them some points, because I'm going to be using Xion a lot in the upcoming area, and so I'll be using a lot of her party. But for now, I just want to show off something really cool with using this party. As far as my skill setup going in there, status resist 30, boss can use poison, overload, combo boost, swimsuit. Swimsuits are, of course, not really required at all, but you have Ether Burst instead of status resist, and you have EP half and Ether Burst because you're going to be casting a lot of spells early on, and I need you to have enough for later in the fight as well. Now, make sure you save, because as soon as you fall down here, you're instantly in battle, which is kind of a dick move. It's like, oh, look, because you go all the way down. Oh, boss, run away, run away, run away. And you run into the boss, which is kind of annoying, but oh well. In fact, I did that on my test run. I had nowhere near the party I wanted. Boss starts off with break block in order to remove it. Must hit the enemy with piercing attacks 12 times. You are going to boost yourself, and I am going to use quick on my 2 characters that, of course, can use that. Which is going to make the boss fight go by a little bit faster. And one more time. Quick on you. And then Shion's going to stock up and set up some buffs for herself. But before doing that, this quest here, this is kind of a quest related... Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to attack. But, oh well. No big loss. So used to stalking at the start of every boss fight. But yeah, having stock there is beneficial. I'll stock with you to try and balance things out. Of course, that's not going to work. You only need to hit the boss once. It's not like you have to unload your stock. I don't think it counts more times if you do it, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to hit the boss again. Really? Overload? You're not working for me. He will have an announcement when he finally removes his block. As you hit him, though, he will talk about certain things. And you can see the dialogue that pops up there. And you. And you know what? To make things easier, we will use stock 1, make sure you're all filled up and ready to go. I would like to set things up so that it works. You cannot use move in this fight, which is rather unfortunate. I would like to see what I could do with it. Roy. That's the one word we've been able to make out so far. And if you remember, we had a GS quest from somebody named Roy. This has something to do with that quest. What can I do with you? Don't want to set things up too early. Oh, should probably go over what the boss is weak to. Boss takes reduced damage from beam, thunder, slash, and hit. Absorbs fire damage, normal from aura, 200% from ice, and 150 from pierce. Not weak to anything in particular. As far as physical or ether, break zone of B, C, C, C. And do I want to set you up with stuff yet? No, I'm just going to heal. Everyone will set up their buffs momentarily here once I finally get this break block out of my way. There we go. Smells Roy, which is the guy that made us do this quest. Alright, once we've done that, we have full charge there. So, Ether Spear. And of course we're going to Ether Spear with Shion as well. And there we go. And attack her with you. And then we're going to use Ice Sword, since that's the best way to deal damage to this guy. This guy does not have a small amount of HP by any stretch. 57,000 at the start. We've already done 7,000, which really isn't all that much considering we've been in the fight for quite some time. So Ice Sword on you. Now, Shion's normal attack is not ice-based. But that's not the only way she can deal damage, so I'm going to use Ice Sword on her as well. Normally, I'm not a big fan of Shion for boss fights for the reason that her attack is both beam and thunder, which makes it a little more annoying to build up chains. It's fine if the boss is weak to thunder, I just kind of start with her instead, but... Anyway, in order to break you, I'm going to need Junior. And then I'm going to have to boost Junior on top of himself. So you have both of those set up. Good. Should be Junior's turn after this. We'll stock to get you some more. Perfect. So boost Junior. And we're going to go for BC. And then we're going to boost Momo. And then we're going to go CC. Now, I don't have anyone who can air the boss, unfortunately, with this party. It could be more beneficial to bring Jin into this as opposed to Junior, but that's entirely up to you. And we're going to hit a couple of times on the up ether slot because look at that damage. And then we're going to boost you again. Unload all of yours on here. Because critical. That's good. And then we're going to boost Junior once more. Empty out your stock there. Look at that damage. Now, unfortunately, by the time I get here, I'm going to hope against hope. I am going to hope against hope. Big money. Big money. Can I get it? Aww, that sucked. So boost Shion again, and boost 1. We'll do it on a critical. That'll work too. Now, in one of the strategy guides, actually it was one of the online guides, they recommend bringing a couple of characters to do Ice Brand, which is a dual tech that's ice damage. They said it did 5,000 damage, and that was their recommendation for wanting to bring it with them. I have a better option. I'm just going to let you enjoy this because this is going to be fucking epic. Remember, the boss had 57,000 HP from the start. Excellent. I'm not worried about the skill bonus because I'm going to redo the fight, but I just wanted to show that off because the sheer amount of damage that Shion can do in this fight is ridiculous. If you don't have Shion, obviously Momo is your go-to damage, and the battle goes pretty easily with just her as well. Next time I'll just bring Jin instead, and I'll launch the guy into the air. We'll do a little more damage with with Momo, and I'll have the guy finished off. But I wanted to show that huge damage total. Last time I didn't even have Ether Burst on. I got lucky and did it on an Ether slot, and it did 74,000 without Ether Burst. I was so shocked because I did not expect that much damage. But anyway, that's all the time I have for today. The other thing this boss can do is if you let it sit around long enough, it uses slash attacks to protect against those. It can use fire attacks to protect against those. But he'll eventually give you hints on how to finish an upcoming puzzle. But since I have a guide in front of me, and, well, I'm making a guide, so we're just going to show that off in the video anyway. So, anyway. If you're confused at how to figure that out, it is available in the boss fight. The boss will eventually completely nosify. As you can see, it kind of talks a little bit, so it's not completely nosified. Oh, excuse me, nosified. But, yeah, eventually, if the boss fight lasts long enough, that's what'll happen. If that happens, the boss will become a lot more dangerous and do a lot more damage, so try to avoid that. It's not really all that hard. The boss fight shouldn't take much more than 7 minutes anyway. I dicked around a lot in this one, and 6.5 minutes. So anyway, that's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.